myself and another representative from the North American Montessori Teachers Association through the gardens. Very shy at first, a little retiring, and all of a sudden, when we got out of the gardens, started rattling off Latin names. This is a remarkable school. The more he talked, the more he wanted to talk. You know what? Well, how are we going to do this without breaking? Okay, then I want to say that your community was awesome. You had an awesome community. The dinner, this is one of the first school open houses where the dinner wasn't catered. And all the food was fantastic. And people were just so happy to have us. I mean, it was a very powerful evening for all the Montessorians from all over Northeast and Southeast who were coming to Washington for a conference. They were treated royally, and the food was absolutely delicious, uniquely delicious. All right. Then, of course, I'm talking about the garden. Now, this is remarkable because in the history of Montessori, there's always a garden in every school. I'm going to show you some historical pictures that put your school right in a lineage of gardens. And then over here, then I heard about the Shakespeare Club, and the kids were quoting Shakespeare. Then I heard about the French Club, and the kids were quoting French. Now, and the kids were quoting advanced French, and they knew their Shakespeare. And I said, wow, this is an incredible school. I mean, so you know what I did? I said I would donate my services. I was so impressed. I knew the school, you know, any public school needs money all the time. And I knew that they wanted to do an adolescent program. And my background, my expertise is the middle and high school. I'm the person that pioneered what we call the third plane. First plane is Children's House of the Babies, the early childhood. Second plane is elementary. Third plane is the adolescent. And right now we're in our 14th year of really perfecting it. And we've trained over 600 teachers nationwide. Okay, are you with me so far? Can you all hear me?
Yes.
You're making me strain back there. All right. The one that's really big. Another reason why I came was this man. You know, Brandon is kind of a unique human being. He sees a lot. He thinks a lot. There's always children around him, as if he's like a magnet as far as children are concerned. He has a big heart. And he's totally for the school. Totally for the school. I am a quick study. And I knew this about him. It didn't take me long. Now this time I almost spent a half a day with him. And he's really totally ready for this adolescent program. So he wants me to tell you about it, give you a general framework. Where is your kid coming from, and where's your child going? He really wants me to make a statement that's honest and relative to this school, not just a canned speech. Well, I'm going to try to do that if my voice lasts. First thing, I want to give you a big picture, a very big picture. You see here, can you all see the picture behind me? I'm not blocking. If I'm blocking something, why don't you move your chair or come? Okay. Okay, anyone else blocked should move now. Are you moving now? You mind being on? Your name?
Marcella Fortune. Marcella Fortune.
Miss Fortune? Marcella? I have to know who's right beside me. Okay, this is a big picture of Montessori right here. What you see is birth of Montessori around 1907, not her birthday, but the birth of the Casa dei Bambini in Rome. And then right around here, you see the adolescent emerging, even before the elementary, even before the infant. Now, why do you think that is? Anyone want to venture a guess? I'm going to make your work. Why would the adolescent emerged in 1926. Yes. I couldn't hear you.
Did she start with young children and then she tracked them as they were becoming
could guess. No, she didn't track them into adolescence right away. No, very simply, adolescents are meaningful. They're very tender. They are looking for orientation to the world. They are very impressionable. And so in Holland, around 1926, a man named Professor Jordan said, I want to start a Montessori adolescent program, even before there was an elementary program. Because those adolescents want that attention and need that attention. So this was not a real Montessori basis. It was kind of made up. Montessori said, use my name, get something started so that we can have good children going to school together. That was the idea. Kind of like here. 1933 in India, we have the elementary. 1947 in Rome, we have the Della Costa Nobis Telverna, Palazzo Telverna for the little 0 to 3 children. And then in 78, John McNamara in Cleveland, no less, my hometown now. I actually was born in Chicago, so don't look down on me too much. But Cleveland, John McNamara had a class of 12-year-olds who refused to leave. There was no board decision. It wasn't his decision. They wouldn't leave his class. And that was the beginning of a new era of adolescent children, Montessori children going to an adolescent program. So he was one of the first, and his basis was an extension of an already well-developed elementary program. He was very, very well articulated in his whole picture of the disciplines. I'm going to show you what I mean in a minute. And so he took off with a adolescent program. The kids wanted it. So what we're finding now in 2013 is that Montessori's blueprint, which she developed, this is what it looked like in 1951. This is the 4 planes of development: infancy, childhood, adolescence, and maturity. This finally was materializing over 100 years' time. Lots of thinking, lots of processing, lots of teacher training. So it starts in 1978 to build, and right now, probably almost 1,000 programs of 4,000 schools are contemplating adolescent programs. You're right there with the mainstream. Okay, questions so far? All right, let me show you something else. Before you have an adolescent program, an elementary program, early childhood, or infant toddler, and you're dealing with music, art, and physical education, and the business side of the school is a little chaotic because it goes together, but the adolescent piece is a missing piece. It does something for the rest of the program. So we go from a missing piece to a continuity going all the way from, I don't know if you can see this little arrow that I'm producing here. Can you see that in the back row? That little arrow? Going all the way from infant, toddler to adolescent. Each plane, each stage of development completes the previous stage of development. So once you get the adolescent piece in, you've got an incredible mosaic, which I'll explain in a minute. And your whole media, this is Hershey Montessori School. It starts out with a infant picture on the top, then a children's house, then an elementary child, there's the adolescent. They happen to have a farm school, which is where I've sophisticated with a team of people just how to work with children ages 12 to 15. So I'm going to give you a big hint. Some of you have heard me do this aspect of my talk before. I'm going to give you a big hint as to how to analyze a Montessori school. I'm going to do it in 30 seconds. And once you have this little key called flow, it has another name in Montessori, but once you have the key, you can begin to see the reasoning all the way from the babies up to the teenagers. Okay, so here is the flow. It comes from a psychologist who was at the University of Chicago named Csikszentmihalyi, and Csikszentmihalyi had a theory based on motivation. He said, if you have a really big challenge, if I say to you, build a bookshelf, and you've never built a bookshelf before, you hardly hammer a nail, the challenge is big, and your skill is small,